Morning. Good afternoon, everyone. Sorry, it's morning here. AV and I are coming to you live from Portland, Oregon. It is very early here, but thank you for joining our live stream today. And today we are going to talk about questions that we get asked the most frequently via presentations or at conferences from our own
Mhm.
clients. We're going to chat about some of the questions that we have gotten the most this year. So thank you for joining us today. If you are joining us, make sure that you pop us a chat in the chat box. Let us know where you're joining from. And please make this an open session. We want to hear your questions and your thoughts and your comments. We love to hear from you guys. Hey, AV, good morning.
Hey, morning. How are you? You're right there,
I'm good.
a couple rooms down.
I'm good.
So,
I know. I know. So the lighting's a little bad. You guys know the struggle with hotel lighting. So anyway, without further ado, I'm going to dive right in real quick. AV has disappeared on me. I don't know what happened. He went all black, but um, maybe he'll come back soon. Avero Advisors is an independent third party consulting firm. And we specialize specifically in the public sector, helping them to really strategize around anything related to digital transformation. Um, sorry, I just got a Slack message. AV, are you still there? I really don't know what happened to him, guys. Um, we specialize in ERP consulting, business process re-engineering, and technology strategic planning for our clients across the country. And we're just really excited to go into 2025. We have a lot of exciting things planned for you guys. And I thought, what a better way than to wrap up 2025 or 2024 with the most questions that we get asked. AV, are you still there? I think I lost you. I don't know if you're on mute. We can't see you.
back. Sorry,
Oh,
I
what
don't know what
happened?
happened. No idea.
I was spiraling for a
Ghosts.
minute.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think everyone knows
So,
who
what I
Avero
miss?
is. And I was, really tanking on who Avero is, but we're going to dive right in. So one of my all-time favorite questions from this year, and we've gotten asked it a lot. How much for an ERP? How much? That what I can't tell you how many times we've been asked that. How much for an ERP?
Well, let's take a step back and talk about why that question may be being asked. Um,
Mhm.
Several reasons that I can think of. One is, um, a the people asking the question, they're absolutely well-meaning. They haven't done this before. Uh, they think that it's like to like, meaning whatever system they've had for 20 years, they're going to find a replacement for it. And they've also been conditioned to paying fees that are 20 years ago, meaning if you have a system on premise that has been built specifically for you, there isn't really a cost of keeping it alive other than hardware and some, the people
Right.
assets that you need to keep that system running. So modern SaaS systems cost money because A, they are going to alleviate your responsibility for the most part on buying hardware, um, keeping staff on on your payroll that do nothing but keep that system alive. So there's pros and cons. If you only look at it from a how much are we paying per month versus how much money we will save by bringing this in house, it's the wrong question to ask because um, anymore there is no on-premise option. Now there is a movement in the market that's bringing stuff that's in the cloud on-premise. Like there's some thought and there's a school of thought that says cloud, the promise of cloud isn't really working out. So vendors are bringing their systems back. So long story short, how much for an ERP? It depends. There, you made me say it. 5 minutes into the live stream, and it
One.
depends on what your situation is. But I think the more pertinent point there is that the people asking the question tend to have sticker shock when we say it's going to cost you, depending on who you are, anywhere from $1 million to implement
Mm,
to 200 to $300,000 a year at the low end to keep it running. Now, again, we're talking about a system that does financials, HR, payroll. It does a lot of things, right? And even if you're buying best of breed solutions, you have a financial solution and then you have another HCM solution. Uh, you're still going to spend that kind of money, which is the norm, and you're getting a lot of benefit for that. We have several videos and lots of content on our channels that talk about the benefits of SaaS. Yes, there are downsides, and if you're looking at it from a classical, ROI perspective, it may not look that good to you, but in the long run, again, the promise of SaaS and cloud, uh, if it maintains, then it's beneficial. So there is no one answer. Don't ask that question, and if you do, please listen to the nuance of our answer because sometimes they don't like it. They don't like it when we say it's going to
oh,
be $1 million.
mm-mm. They want us
But
to have at least a range,
sure,
a
we can
range
give
of
that, right?
what it's going to cost.
And we know that from all of the selections we do, we know, of
Hmm.
course, without revealing exactly who a vendor has offered what pricing, we know we know what the range is. We know what the range is for several different combinations of product suites.
Hmm. Yeah, and they really just don't know what they don't know, right? I mean, a lot of these clients and prospects, they're operating, on old AS400 systems, so they
Mhm.
don't even understand the fee structure or what a new system can do for them. So it is sticker shock, and we've
Yeah.
we've gotten those shocking reactions a lot lately. But I do love that question because it is so it's so heavy, and it really does just depend. That's number two. Lexi says, I know the cost for a new system and advisory services can seem like a lot to clients, but they likely can't fully imagine the benefits they will reap from the transition. And you're exactly right, Lexi.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I don't mind being asked that question because
Hmm.
we're in that spot where we should be able to give them the unbiased, straight to the point truth, in which we do. And
Right.
sticker shock or not, our job is to give our best advice and our most accurate information
Hmm.
based on what we know, which is a lot of times a lot more than what our clients know.
Yeah,
By design, this is our day job. It's not
that's right.
theirs.
That's right. That's right. So second question, and it's around the hottest topic right now, which is AI. So how is AI transforming not just ERP, but digital transformation as a whole? How are people using it? What do we know about it? We get asked that all the time.
Uh, you know, you ask me tomorrow, the answer is going to be slightly different. So
Hmm.
a few months ago, it was no one knows what's going on. Like we did this whole talk at ICMA, which was a great hit. If you are overwhelmed, you don't know what is going on. You're not alone, right? Because people are still trying to figure out how this impacts their operations and systems. Two, a lot of vendors are putting a lot of time and money into developing AI-based capabilities into their system. So you should not think of AI as a module or a thing that a vendor might offer to you. It's going to be baked in. Um, it will be there like electricity or Wi-Fi. You just expect it to work, and things will get done for you. How ready you are for adopting those technologies and those features really is the key question here, right? So one of the things we are doing, and we're going to reveal this soon, is we've come up with in the Avero AI maturity model just specifically for governments because you can't apply private sector logic in maturity expectations to the government sector, especially local government. So how ready are you? What stage of the evolution are you, and how do you get to? I think level 7 is the highest level you can attain, and it's broken down into what what are the characteristics of someone on stage 1? How do you get to stage 2? In stage 2, what can you do? At what point does just using a basic chatbot turn into or can turn into more automation, more predictive analytics, more AI doing the thing for you. So lots of great stuff to talk about as far as AI goes. The products will show up, and I know we've all been pestered by the next greatest chatbot, and click here, and this is going to solve everything. You know, someone's sticker on top of the ChatGPT framework. We're 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 just starting to see some really cool stuff coming out. Big vendors, and we've been in meetings with vendors like SAP and Oracle and UKG, where and Workday, where they've told us specifically that the feature sets that are coming and how great it's going to be, uh, and it's going to solve a lot of problems. So my advice is study your maturity for taking things on. Don't bite off more than you can chew at the same time. We also talk about stealth AI, right? There's products that you may be using in the cloud that already use AI that may have already ingested your data. Um, so protecting your data and your organization is key. So our maturity model and the assessment that goes with it will really help you pinpoint where you stand today and how do you, if you want to, how do you get to level 7 of that maturity model? I'm really excited for this.
And I am too. And guys, if you haven't seen the content from ICMA where AV and Clay spoke on this topic of AI, please go out to our YouTube channel. It is on there, and we've also broken it out into shorts. So you should be seeing that circulating around. But it is a great, great discussion on this topic. So make sure you check us out. Eric, speaking of UKG, hey, Eric. If you're still on, I would like to hear what clients are asking you guys. What's the number one question you've been asked this year? He said it looks like it's the Megan show. It was for a minute, and that was really awkward. So thank you for your support. I I really liked it. Um, what else? Kyler says it's less about vendors and AI and more about how you're using your data. Am I right, Brett R? I'm not sure who Brett R is, but I can't wait to hear your comment, Brett. Um, all right, what are we on? Question number 3. One of my favorites actually from last week was, how do you guys speak technically to a non-technical end user? And I love this question because I really do think that that's where Avero stands out, is because we don't talk technically, or we meet the client where they are, right? What are your thoughts, AV, on that? I see you're changing the font. You didn't like
Yeah,
my
I didn't
font.
like the squiggly.
You can't really read it.
So our job is to translate, right?
That's right.
One of the things we do best is we speak geek and we speak business, right?
Mhm.
So we get hired by our uh, clients and partners to come in and help them understand the lay of the land, what these vendors are talking about, and if in the absence of a strong CIO, CTO, it's typically the CFO or CHRO that is running these projects. And again, these are accountants, these are HR focused folks, and they don't have the uh, typically they don't have the tool set to understand or uh, really make decisions based on technical jargon. So our role is to not only talk to the executives, but also to the lowest levels of the organization, because people are people, and you have to treat people like people. One of because when you take on a transformation project, what people want to know more than anything is what happens to my job. This is the thing I've been doing for 20 years. I've dedicated my life to the city, county, utility district. What what the heck is ERP? What are you talking about? And what happens to my job? Right? So you need to, number one, allay those fears and make sure that change is being adopted across the organization. And for the most part, people that are actually using the system, they don't need technical knowledge. They want to know how to cut a
Mm.
PO. They want to know how to cut a check. So in modern ERP implementations or implementations of any kind, it's very uh, it there's a very small subset of the client's user base that need technical detail, and we turn it on for those guys.
Mm.
But most of the time, it's people management. These are not technology projects; they're people projects. So speak to them in the language they understand best.
Absolutely. We're not getting anywhere if they're not understanding what we're saying, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to check the comments. Do we have anything else? I'm not seeing anything. Guys, I want to hear your questions. Come on, let's see. Um, all right, I'm going to move on into this is a huge topic, and we have a lot of content around the topic of data
Mhm.
and how much data should I carry over from one system to the next. That is something that we are asked consistently across the board. So a lot of questions go something like, "What is the standard for how much data you carry over to the new system?" So, what is your answer to that?
It depends. I'm sorry if I'm gonna give you a free it depends now,
That's
because
number
you need
three.
you need to think about why. What are you gonna do with the data? And I think the key point to make here is when you migrate to a new system, um, you don't necessarily lose old data. So if you're migrating 3 or 5 years of your balances in 1 year of transactional data, you don't lose. If you do it right, you're not gonna lose um, old data. You're gonna in your data migration plan, which we can help you come up with, you will have an archival strategy. You will have your old data either in the system that you're currently using because you own it, it's on premise, you have the manpower and the infrastructure to keep that going, or you're going to find a cloud-based third-party solution, or your new vendor might have an archival solution. So plenty of options that you need to define at the very front end as you're doing uh, strategy, as you're doing your overall ERP migration strategy, but data migration becomes a huge part of it. Um, so people get stuck on this point, right? And there is no one strategy. Within your strategy, you might have a strategy for your financial data and another strategy for HCM data because the need is different. So data migration strategy is step number one, and the rest will follow because most vendors will also help you understand the nuances of migration. They'll have great tools to help you through that process, and you don't want to get bogged down in cleaning up legacy data, moving it into a new system. Lots of great analogies, right? It's
Yes.
emotional baggage. Why would you clean your old house before you move to a new house? You can Google or Chat GPT all of this. There's some good ones.
Can you speak a little bit to the contract negotiation piece and how the data piece can be misconstrued within the contract where, the vendor might think that you're, only bringing over a year's worth of data, but, you know, that's not
Yeah.
what the client wants. And so there's some
Well,
miscommunication there.
yeah, that's like the basics of having a good contract, right? Define
Hmm.
define everything
Right.
and redefine it. Don't assume that what what a certain thing means to a vendor um, it means the same thing to you. So data migration is a good point. If you just go with the one liner saying we'll help you migrate data and it costs X amount of dollars, and it's not defined how much from what systems, where is it integrating, what happens to the archival data, all of that costs money, and it's an important topic to pay attention to because you really need to define the parameters of the data migration and conversion support because that's where a lot of time and money is spent.
Absolutely. All right. Eric, he's come to us with a lot of great questions and actually topics that I plan to hit on. So thank you, Eric. Let's go with your first question here. I don't know why we're still writing in Christmas, but we are. So our customers and prospects are always on the fence over ERP versus best of breed, or as called business systems versus people systems. Yes, and this is one we get 90% of the time. We get asked our opinion on. So, boss man, what are your thoughts? You gonna
Um,
say it again?
not It depends on your situation and what you need. Really, it's a good time to be doing this, right?
It is.
There's several wonderful systems that have products that do it all. There are systems that claim to do it all, but they don't. And then there are very specialized systems that do their functional area really well. So, in fact, we are presenting today at a large agency that one of the topics is to identify, as in phase one, the strategy for how they tackle this. So, because their current situation is that they have one major system, several ancillary systems, and now that they have decided to look to the market for what's next for their organization, our job will be to define what methods they use. And it comes down to specific needs, desired outcomes, and when they put an RFP out, if we are working with them, it'll typically say, present what you think is the best for the client, right? If your product, all-in product, is the best fit, come in and present that. If you are a best of breed vendor, then you may present only the one piece that you are really good at. So that way we give the client choices on how to do this. Because again, it's a good time to be doing this because of the speed of development with which these products are getting better and better every day. And again, AI, AI, AI. So that will dictate uh, how clients choose which products or what formula to use, all in or best of breed.
Eric, your second question was a huge topic of conversation yesterday at dinner. And so he says, do you typically see better implementations delivered by the vendor or an SI working on behalf of the vendor? So, AB, if you would, you had a great analogy last night about Legos. And I want you to share that, and then we'll dive more into Eric's question.
So it's important to understand what an SI is. System integrator,
Mhm.
right? A system integrator may not be the same person that sells you the thing. So let's just take, I'm going to use SAP as an example. When you buy SAP, you're buying the software, or Workday or Oracle, you're buying the software itself from Oracle, SAP, or Workday, or UKG, right? Because Eric asked the question, or UKG. Um, and then you have a third party who is a very well vetted company that is a system integrator for that particular system that comes in and implements and configures the thing for you with the support of the software vendor. So all of the vendors that I named will be absolutely behind the SI, and the SI's job is to deliver the solution to the client, for which the SI will charge an additional fee for implementing the thing. So, uh, could segue into total cost of ownership. It's not just the cost of the software. You have to keep in mind that you will have additional cost to implement this. So, uh, and this landscape is changing quickly, right? Traditionally, what would happen, especially with SAP would hand over to the SI and the partners the ability and give them the ability to really customize and make it client specific and client specific instance of SAP, for example. So the way I likened it is it's like you're buying Legos from Lego the company, and you're getting Megan and Co to come implement it for you. And I start asking for custom Legos. I say, I don't need the 8 block. I need a triangular one with 7 bubbles on it. Lego doesn't make it. But Megan, can you make me one? So what Megan does is customizes the Lego, makes it a triangle, gives it 7 bubbles. And now I have my 7 bubble triangle Lego, which Lego doesn't make, but it's made by Lego, right? So when this fits perfectly in my environment, and only the person, in this case, Megan and Co., that made this triangular Lego, is the only one that knows how it works, only one that knows how to fix it, how to keep it running, and then they've got the client, right? Now they're charging, gazillion dollars to keep this one Lego piece up and running, and Lego, the company, doesn't really know how this works, but there's their names on it, right? And when it stops working, it's what are they going to say? Lego sucks. This triangle doesn't work. I can't believe they did this to me, which is a huge problem. It's been a historically huge problem for large software providers with not the best uh, partner ecosystem. And I'll say that it's historical. They're all tightening their standards for how partners deliver these services to their clients. I don't know
What
if I
is
said
our
it the same way last night, but
Yeah, no, it was good. It was good. You used a different shape of Lego. I liked it. Um, what is our approach to evaluating these SIs? Um, is there a different approach? What do we do? Is the rubric the same? What do we look at?
Rubric.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, so it's part of the selection process, right?
Right.
When we have an RFP that we're managing for a client, uh, most vendors will either present their own software and say we're the ones implementing it, or they will bring in their software and their preferred SI. And the way it works internally is if you're a choice client, right? You're a large city, large county, all of the SIs want it. So they have to do their bidding with Oracle and Workday and say, hey, can I have it? Can I have it? Can I have it? And I think I don't know how they make the decision, but they're the ones that say, okay, we bless you X, Y, and Z SI, you can chase this deal. Sometimes two or three SIs chase the same deal. Um, so that all becomes part of the selection process. And the latest one where we took this approach was a school district where we did one demo for the product itself, and then each of the SIs that presented their qualifications for this were interviewed and had to go through a demo process for their services uh, separately. So you have to vet both. And the good news is that all of the SIs, all the partners are really vetted well these days by the major players. So you can't just become a Workday partner. You have to have certain standards. You have to have done it before, and it's the same thing with Oracle, SAP, UKG. So there's a good foundation there, but they also have to keep up with the quality.
Yeah. Good questions, Eric. Thank you so much. Um, Kyler hit a nerve a little bit when we were talking about the people approach. This is why you need to meet your support team in person. Do you have anything you want to follow up on with that? We've talked
Yeah,
about
I
it a
think
lot in the last few
I
weeks if
know.
you've
It's
seen
kind of
our
yeah,
uh,
it's kind of been the
reels,
flavor
but
of
it
the
is.
season so far. But yeah, in person is always better. Of course, you can have additional meetings and filler questions, all of that. Do it virtually, but meet your vendors in person. Um, this is you're going to spend multi millions of dollars. This is politically fraught with risk. Don't leave it up to Zoom. You need to meet people in person uh, when you make these decisions.
Absolutely. Lexi says, I'm seeing this question recently with RFPs. And what is the best way that we would answer it? What percentage of time will the key personnel dedicate to the project? Breaking it down to an exact percentage is a little difficult. Yes, exactly. Um,
It's
that's tough.
doable, right? You
It's,
have to
yeah,
make
but
assumptions.
it,
You've got to make assumptions. You have to put your best foot forward. So there's there's a standard way of doing things. We have lots of data in terms of how long it took us to do a certain thing for a specific kind of client. So we use that. But I think the key point here is project planning and uh, nailing exact dates down need to happen with the client and the vendor, right? So as consultants, when we don't know what vendor the client's going to choose or what we're going to choose, it's hard for us to say this is the exact work plan with dates and blackout dates. We don't know. If you choose Tyler Tech is going to come and present their work plan, and then what the approach should be is sit down with the sponsors and say, okay, how do we come up with the agency's work plan based on this? Because you don't want of course, you want to have dialogue and tell whoever vendor it is that here's our blackout dates, these are our audit dates, here we are in budget season. All of that needs to be baked in, and you can't just be dictated a work plan. So
right.
back to the question on how we present this, we can do it, but everyone needs to understand that there are assumptions baked into this, especially when we can't have a conversation in the RFP process, rightfully so.
Or have a conversation in person.
Hmm.
It really it really is a collaboration.
Right.
We have to have a conversation. Those hours that we present are not set in stone. right? It's like AV said, we're making our best educated guess based on your organization size and where we've done this before. But it really comes down to what you guys are truly looking for in the overall vision and how we can best help you achieve that. So, um, well, I think we are going to wrap it up. I think we've covered the hot topics, the questions that we've been asked the most frequently this year. But I would still love to hear from you guys. So let us know what you guys are hearing in the market. Let us know if we can help answer any questions for you. Make sure that you download our 2025 report up in the left-hand corner, and let us know what you think about that. Follow us on all social media platforms and be looking for some new content. We just recorded a lot of great things this week, so hoping to get that out for you guys soon. And again, let us know what you want to hear. Thank you for sharing that, AV, and thank you guys for joining today and engaging with us. But Lexi and I will be going live next Wednesday, so make sure you join at 10 a.m. We're excited. We are not doing anything related to RFPs, so don't worry. We are not going to come at you about anything procurement related. So looking forward to that.
What are you guys
And
talking about?
I hope you all have a very Merry Christmas. All right. Thanks, AV.